Good evening, everyone, and I warmly welcome you to the Indian Embassy. Today is a very, very important day in the history of India. We mark the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. Ramji Ambedkar. I don't know how many of you know, but Dr. Ambedkar was the father of the Indian Constitution, and more than that, he was in the forefront of the fight against the caste system. When India became independent from British rule in 1947, the leaders of the independence movement decided to form a constituent assembly. And the purpose of the Constituent Assembly was to frame a constitution for a new independent country. This was not easy because India was under colonial rule for more than 200 years. There was no experience on constitutional matters, and it was also not very clear what kind of a constitution or what kind of a country we want to create for ourselves. There were people of different faiths, different backgrounds in the Constituent Assembly, different political parties. So the whole process of making a constitution was an extremely difficult and a complex one. And Dr. Ambedkar was appointed as the chairman of the small drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly. And this exercise took a long time. And finally, on the 26th of January 1950, the Constituent Assembly adopted the Constitution of India. And the Constituent Assembly was, in a sense, dissolved and converted into the first Parliament of India.
I have a pleasure and a great honor of addressing you in the name of the Institute of Asian and African Studies, Moscow State University, at such an important day as Ambedkar Jayanti. I am glad on the opportunity to thank the Embassy of India and the Indian Cultural Center in Moscow for this invitation. Recently, His Excellency visited our institution, and he saw how many students gathered to listen to his marvelous lecture and how they were interested. And we try to give to our students as much knowledge on Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar as we can. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar is one of the pioneers of Indian democracy and the creators of Indian Constitution. Ambedkar Jayanti turned out to be an event not only of academic interest, but of great political and social importance, which signified the immortality of his ideas.
Today I'm going to talk on the topic, justice delayed is most definitely justice denied. Usually it is seen as a positive quality that decision making takes long, because that makes it more efficient. However, when it comes to giving justice, no delays must be allowed. Delaying justice only creates more problems which could have been easily avoided had timely justice been given. So the question arises, why is justice delayed? One of the main reasons for this is the scarcity in number of judges. There are so many courts and thousands of cases coming in there. But there are so many vacancies for judges also. Judges are so few. How can justice be given when there's no one to give the justice?
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you a question. Has John been a good boy at school? You can't answer that one straight, can you? Because you want to know which John going to which school am I referring to, right? And you ask me, is democracy a universal value? Well, I'd like to know whose democracy you're referring to. Because if you're referring to Western democracy, then it is known as liberal democracy, which is a hybrid of liberalism and democracy, and where the liberal element is predominant and often constrains the democratic element. Now let's have a look at Japan, China and Korea, where they follow Confucian values and they have Buddhist as well as Taoist values in their cultures. But that does not mean that the democracy cannot coexist with all these values. The three main Confucian values of early Confucianism are Ren, that is humanness, Mengzi, that is the education required to cultivate this humanness, and Li, that is ritual principles.
खोखले विचारों में मेरे कोई विश्वास नहीं है। मेरे किसी में विश्वास है तो इसमें सामाजिक न्याय और सद्भावना के बिना भारत की अखंडता और आजादी को बरकरार नहीं रखा जा सकता। संविधान लिखते हुए इसमें सभी नागरिकों को समान नागरिक अधिकार जाति व धर्म के आधार पर हर तरह के भेदभाव का खात्मा बेहद जरूरी है।
जी बिल्कुल सही। हमें इसके लिए राज्यों को अधिक अधिकार देने होंगे क्योंकि सच्चा लोकतंत्र इसके बिना कायम नहीं हो सकता।
प्रांत और गांव ही नहीं, हमारे लिए एक एक व्यक्ति की गरिमा और आजादी अहम है। आजादी और देश की एकता दोनों ही आवश्यक है और हमारे लिए कम संख्या वाले दुर्बल समूह की सबल समूहों से सुरक्षा करना भी आवश्यक है और मजबूत केंद्र के अभाव में ऐसा संभव नहीं। दरअसल भारत को स्वरूप में संज्ञा और भाव में एकल होना चाहिए।